Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about how to make your friend fall in love with you. So there are a couple of things that I want to discuss in this video, well, more than a couple actually. And the first thing that I want to discuss that can help you on this path is to start to become the person that you want to be. So you got to basically think about the kind of person that you want to be, and start living that. Because if you're, thinking a lot about your best friend, if you're really, thinking about that kind of thing, and you're spending a lot of time basically daydreaming about them and stuff, you need to start directing your focus elsewhere. Because if you are solely focused on them right now, and they seem to consume all of your thoughts and things like that, then the trouble with that is that sometimes you can make mistakes. Like, it could be, like, for example, for me, this is something that I went through. I had a couple of crushes on friends when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, when I was an early adult. And I would, because I would, let these emotions fester inside of me, and I would focus all of my attention basically on them, on these friends that I was falling in love with, that I would, make silly mistakes. Like, I would write love letters, or I would confess my feelings to them and do all this kind of stuff. And these things rarely worked. And the thing is that I should have really been focused on different things instead of focusing on this friend that I had. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't make them fall in love with you, because there is a chance. Obviously, there's always some, chance that this person actually might reciprocate the feelings, because at this current time, you probably don't know. You might be questioning whether or not they like you or not. But, what I want you to do is I want you to focus on the kind of person that you would like to become. And not the kind of person that you think your friend would like you to be. I want you to become the kind of person that you want to be, right? So I made a list of things that I wanted to be a good number of years ago now. And a couple of those things was I wanted to be confident, I wanted to be self-reliant, I wanted to be someone that people could rely on, things like that. So what are those kinds of things for you? Like, what kind of person do you want to become? And then, once you make a list of those things, start to work towards those things. Start to become the person that you want to be. So you want to have, hobbies that you like to do. You want to have like ambition for something in your life. Like, it could be a career that you would like to do. It could be, some kind of like side hustle or something like that. It could be to do with exercise or anything like that. You need to start developing the things that you admire in other people, in a sense. So what makes you admire someone? What are the things that they do? And try to adopt those characteristics, basically. You want to start becoming the kind of person that you want to become. Because at the moment, you might not be living that. But you might be, but I'm going to guess that you're probably not living by that, and you're not the person that you ultimately want to be right now. Perhaps you're not even sure of the kind of person that you do want to be. But one of the things that I think is the best way to figure out the kind of person that you want to be is if you pick out the characteristics in people that you admire, like your role models. Like, perhaps you have a role model that's really funny, perhaps you have one that's like really good at this kind of sport, or perhaps you have a role model that has a certain personality that you just really, really admire. Start adopting those things, because if you have envy, or if you feel inspired by those kinds of people, you need to really pay attention to that, because that basically means that this is a part of you, and it's your kind of soul saying to you in a way that this is what you should be doing, this is the kind of thing that you should be focusing on. So you want to do that. And the reason why this is good to get, a friend to fall in love with you, or it's for anyone to fall in love with you, is because if you start doing that, you'll start to authentically living your best self, your best life. You'll start to become the best version of yourself. And basically, you need to become the best version of yourself, and you need to start living by what you want, and developing the characteristics of the kinds of people that you admire, because that's what you want to be as well. We tend to like people who are like us, or we like people who are like what we want to be. And once you start living by that, then you start to become you. You'll start to become authentically yourself. And of course, if you want someone to fall in love with you, you want them to fall in love with the real you, the you that you want yourself to be. That's the kind of person that you want to fall in love with you. You want someone to fall in love with you for the right reasons. You want them to fall in love with you because this is who you truly are at your best self, when you're doing your best, when you're being the best version of yourself, when you're being the best version of you. And all relationships start with you first and how you react and how you act. So I'm just going to quickly talk about social media for a little bit. So you need to be very careful with what you post on social media if you want a friend to fall in love with you. Like, you don't want to be, making posts that are sad, that are a bit mopey or anything like that, because making someone pity you is not going to make them fall in love with you. You're just going to make them pity you, right? So if you're making sad posts that are kind of directed towards them because you're in love with them, then, stop doing that kind of thing, because a lot of people can see right through that kind of stuff anyway. And it might be the case that your friend already knows that you have a bit of a crush on them, but they just haven't really spoken about it, because, usually we can tell when someone has a crush on us. And also the opposite of that, you don't want to post things on social media that makes you look too good, in the sense that you don't want to post things that make yourself out to be more perfect than what you are. That's essentially what I'm trying to say here. When you post something, it's got to be something authentic. It's got to be something genuine. Like, for example, let's say you have a YouTube channel, and for whatever reason, let's say you get your first 100 subscribers. That's something positive and something true that you can post on social media. Why? Because it's true and it's genuine. You want to post true and genuine things. And obviously you want to post things that are positive as well, but you don't want to come across as too perfect. You don't want to come across as too grandiose, basically. You want to just be someone who's down to earth and likes to celebrate, little successes. But don't make a big deal about it. Just be like, yay, I made 100 subscribers or something like that. It have to be like these kinds of things. Or it could be, perhaps you go to the gym a lot and you finally get to bench press something, like a certain amount of weight that you've never been able to bench press before. Again, you can do that, post a video, perhaps someone films you doing it and you're like, yay, I bench pressed this amount of weight, whatever it may be. These are ways that you can come across more genuine on social media, where you're not too mopey and sad, but you're also not too full of yourself, basically. And the last thing that I want to talk about is, especially if you are genuinely interested in a friend of yours, or perhaps it's a best friend, then you need to tell them. And I don't mean you confess your feelings or anything like that. This is the best method that I personally think is going to give you the best results, basically. And that is, you just need to say to your friend, hey, you know what, I've been kind of seeing you a bit differently. I think of you in a different way now, and I'd really like to take you out on a date. When are you available to hang out? When are you available to do so? And either they're going to say yes, and they're going to want to go on a date with you as well, or they're going to say no, right? And then you'll have your answer, because sometimes you just gotta get on with it. If you have developed attraction for your friend, then, and you're not too fussed about losing the friendship, obviously, then you need to say something about it. You need to do something about it. And basically, if you realize that, hey, if they tell you that they don't like you, that's great, because now you can move on and try and find someone else. It's the best gift, basically, that someone can give you, if them telling you how they feel about you, because you don't want to be like me. You don't want to be someone who, lets these emotions fester, and then and then you write like a long letter to them and confess your feelings and stuff like that, because it does never work, and it's always the wrong way to go about it anyway. You should always go about it in a more less emotional way, shall we say. And that is just by simply asking them out on a date. And you might be saying something like, hey, you know what, this is a bit random, because, I know we've been friends for a while, but I've actually started to see you differently, and I'd love to take you out on a date. When are you available to do so? When are you next available? When's your next free day to be able to do this? And if they like you back, then they'll say yes. And if they don't, then they'll say no. And either way, that's good, because either way, you're going to go on a date with the person that you like, or they're going to say no, and you are then free to find someone else who does like you in the same way. And if you, say this and you're still hoping to save the relationship, still hoping that this isn't going to ruin your friendship, then just say to them, hey, just take it as a compliment. Don't think too much into it. Just take it as a compliment. Don't worry about it. If they start to become awkward about it, just take it as a compliment. It's okay. It's fine. But you need to understand as well, if they say to you, no, I only want to be friends, can you genuinely hang out with this person and not have feelings for them? Because if you can't genuinely hang out with this person as a friend and not have feelings for them, you need to say to them that I'm not interested in friendship, and that you need to kind of cut ties with them. Because if you're still into them, then those feelings are not going to go away, and they're just going to fester, and it's going to make you feel you're going to have a lot of turmoil inside of you. So you have to make a decision. You have to really think, can I just be friends with this person? Because if I can just be friends with this person, then that's fine, like it doesn't matter. But if I can't, and I'm still gonna have these emotions, I'm still gonna have these feelings, I'm still gonna have this, desire for them, this romantic desire, this sexual desire for them, then I can't hang out with them anymore. I can't be their friend anymore. It's gone too far. I've gone too far in my emotions, and therefore I can't be friends with you. That's what you need to say. Like, I want to be in a relationship with you. I want to date you. I want to hang out with you. I want to, I think you're gorgeous. I think you're amazing. I want to date you, basically. And if you don't want that, if you just want friendship, then I'm afraid that we've got to stop this friendship, because I can't be around you and not see you in a romantic way, and that's just how I feel. So I'm just going to have to, leave this friendship, basically, and I'm going to go and find someone who does want to be with me. And you have to have that sort of self-respect, and you have to start believing that I deserve to be with someone who wants to be with me. And you shouldn't ever fall back on that. You have to always be living by that. I want to be with someone who wants to be with me. And if your friend doesn't want to be with you, and you can't hang out with them without feeling romantic feelings towards them, then you need to, I'm afraid, abort that friendship. Or at least distance yourself and start distancing yourself from them. So hopefully that's helped you. Thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.